Hey guys, Ray with PhoneArena here doing a video comparison between the Samsung ATIV S and the HTC Windows Phone 8X, which are two of the very first Windows Phone 8 smartphones we have. So naturally, we wanted to compare them and see which one is better for what purposes. It's definitely hard to say which one is the better looking device of the two because they have completely different styles. On one hand, we have the Samsung ATIV S here, which is bigger than the 8X, which is because of its larger screen, and it relies on Samsung's traditional plastic build quality. The 8X is plastic as well, but feels in a completely different way. We won't say which one feels better because they are simply different, not better than each other. So what we have here with the ATIV S, it has a nice brushed aluminum look on the back side, but don't be fooled by it, it's still just plastic. Anyways, it looks pretty cool in our opinion, and overall, as you can see, it's more strict device, at least in terms of appearance. It has this down to business look to it, whereas we have here the black version of the HTC 8X. You probably remember that this phone is available in all sorts of different colors, but ironically we have the black version here, which is pretty simplistic, we should say, where it's all black, completely black, and on the back side we only have HTC's black logo here. So what we don't like really about this design is this soft touch coating that HTC has used, because it holds a lot of dust on it. So after you have used the phone, after you have held it in your hand, you feel some of this dust on your hand, but overall it has a decent grip. Another thing that some may like, others may not, is these relatively sharp edges here. We don't find the phone particularly comfortable to hold in the hand, if we have to be honest. But on the other side, it compensates by being smaller than the ATIV S, so it's easier to hold it with one hand and operate at the same time with just one hand, whereas with the ATIV S, you see, this is much more difficult to do. When it comes to the screens, both devices are pretty cool. On the left we have the ATIV S with its 4.8-inch Super AMOLED display with resolution of 720 by 1280 pixels, and on the right side we have HTC Windows Phone 8X with its 4.3-inch Super LCD 2 display of the same resolution. Now, although some users might prefer the relatively more saturated colors of the Super AMOLED displays and their great contrast levels, which are really likable, we have to say that the Super LCD 2 screen of the HTC Windows Phone 8X is a bit better because it has more realistic colors, while the white color is completely white on this handset here, the 8X. It appears somewhat bluish here on the ATIV S due to its AMOLED screen. Furthermore, this Super AMOLED screen of the ATIV S uses the pentile matrix arrangement for its pixels, whereas the 8X has an RGB standard arrangement, so text and small details look better and cleaner on the HTC 8X. Another thing is that the Super LCD 2 display of the 8X is brighter than the Super AMOLED of the ATIV S, which means that when you're outdoors, you get better visibility with the 8X. Somewhat disappointing is the fact that both handsets, the ATIV S and the 8X, feature almost identical software experience. They both run Windows Phone 8X, Windows Phone 8, sorry. So you get exactly the same user interface. Of course, you can customize it with different themes. You can have a white or black background and choose different color themes for the live tiles and the other elements in the UI of the operating system. But other than that, Microsoft does not allow handset manufacturers to create any software customizations for these for their handsets. So the end result is that Samsung has preloaded this Now application, and HTC has its HTC Hub. What these offer are news, stock information, and weather information powered by Yahoo, something which you can get anyways. And since both devices feature pretty much the same hardware capabilities, the experience is great on both devices, equally smooth scrolling and transitions and stuff. There is absolutely no slowdown visible with these devices. As you might expect, the messaging experience on the Samsung ATIV S is a bit better because thanks to its larger screen, it also has a larger virtual QWERTY keyboard, which is of course a bit easier to type on. But the 8X is also providing a pretty good typing experience. Thanks to Internet Explorer 10, which is found on Windows Phone 8, these two devices offer a great, terrific web browsing experience, which we really like. This browser is very good because it allows for very smooth scrolling, pinch zooming gestures, extremely accurate double tap zooming, and easy work with tabs here. So it's a great browser, and it's very difficult to say which handset of these two is the better one. It's true that the 8X has a slightly better pixel density, and it also has the RGB matrix, which should make things easier to read on it, but the ATIV S counters this to a large extent thanks to its larger screen, which also makes things easier to read. So all in all, we're gonna say that they're pretty equal in this respect, with this exception that if you prefer true to life colors, I think it's easy to see right now. If you prefer the true to life colors, the 8X should be more pleasing for your eyes. It goes without saying that the camera interfaces of the two devices we have here, the ATIV S and 8X, are completely identical. You have this switch here to video mode. You have the toggle for which activates the front-facing camera, an option for the flash, and this option here which gives you access to your lenses. You know that applications who can use the camera of your device can be automatically integrated with your camera app here in the form of these lenses here. And you also have photo settings and video settings. Now when it comes to photo quality, both devices are quite equal, but we found the photos of the Windows Phone 8X to be somewhat sharper than those of the ATIV S. So with the 8X you get better details. It's easier to discover and to see the fine details in a photo, whereas with the ATIV S everything is a bit somewhat blurry, at least compared to the 8X here. Other than that, the colors which both handsets achieve are pretty similar and in our opinion quite realistic. Video recording, again we have pretty similar results. Both handsets capture mediocre sound quality to their videos, and but we kind of prefer the video of the ATIV a bit more because it keeps the exposure more realistic to real life, whereas the ATIV S tends to boost things a bit too much. Of course, we prefer the Samsung ATIV S here for movie watching. Both devices play pretty much the same files because they have the same software and hardware, but the larger screen of the ATIV S makes things a bit more pleasant to view. However, we should not downplay the 8-axis superior screen, which is visible here with its much better color temperature. We have to say that the HTC Windows Phone 8X is the better handset for phone calls. It's both its earpiece and microphone sound better than those of the ATIV S here. However, if we have to compare their loudspeakers, we notice that the one of the Samsung ATIV S sounds both louder and cleaner thanks to having more high frequencies. On the other hand, the speaker of the HTC Windows Phone 8X is weaker and sounds a bit muffled, even though it's supposed to have a special amplifier and even though it has this Beats logo here on the back. Of course, it's extremely difficult to say which handset of these two is the better one, but as always, it kind of depends on your personal needs and preferences. So if you're the kind of a multimedia user who watches a lot of video or plays a lot of games on their mobile handset, it might be wise to side with the Samsung ATIV S here because of its bigger screen, 4.8 inches, which is also very appropriate for multimedia consumption due to the great contrast levels and saturated colors. We also prefer the materials it is made of. It's this glossy smooth plastic which feels very nice to the touch and provides a very good grip. Meanwhile, the HTC 8X has this soft touch coating which you see attracts a lot of fingerprints which are not that easy to clean and a lot of dust on it, so you may not like this coating. It's riskier. But if we have to talk about call quality or screen quality, it's the 8X that has the upper hand there because of its more realistic colors and greater brightness here, also the clearer sound quality. Overall, we have two great devices here, and we hope that we were useful to you in understanding which one would be a better choice for you. This was our comparison between the Samsung ATIV S and HTC Windows Phone 8X. For more details about these two handsets, you can visit us anytime at PhoneArena.com. Thanks for watching.